Is any palm sander worth $500 plus? Today we're going to explore that question in depth right here on Shop Tales and Lore. If you're a serious do-it-yourselfer or home workshop enthusiast looking for a variety of helpful content in one place, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified whenever we release a new video. And if we've helped you today, please take a moment to like, share, and comment below. It helps these videos reach more folks, and your comments help others as well. Thanks again. When my son paid over $500 for a 3x4-inch orbit sander, I have to admit I was a little skeptical. So far as I knew, there was no new or dramatically different sander technology out there, and the rotating or random orbital type has become so proven, common, and affordable over the past 50 years that the prospect of going back to the old square or rectangular pad sander with its known drawbacks had me doing more than a little head scratching. But when we put this thing through its paces, and after the dust settled, pun intended, I was reminded why we should never stop learning. These inline orbit action sanders have actually been around a long time. This Sears Craftsman model is from the late 50s. This Dremel ad dates from 1945. Long ago, we used an old Porter Cable half-sheet orbit sander that takes two hands to operate, but again, with the prevalence and solid performance of the modern random orbitals, I haven't missed that big, heavy sander for at least 30 years. So if there's nothing revolutionary about this fairly new crop of orbit pad sanders, what's the big deal? Let's take a closer look. Even if it were just an average performer, Unita's Ekasand, feel free to correct me on this name, I'm not sure how they pronounce it, E-Series 3x4-inch orbit sander has some desirable features. With its low vibration, gyro-smooth 3-speed motor, convenient top-mounted paddle switch, noise level of 61 decibels, and modest weight of 2.5 pounds, it's really comfortable for those all-day sanding sessions. This is a big advantage for you ladies and other folks with smaller hands. I can't see much difference between it and the practically identical Surf Prep, but if you know of some feature or aspect that sets them apart, please let us know in the comments. The controls are pretty straightforward. When the unit is plugged in, it goes into standby mode and the LED glows red. The paddle switch will not function in this mode. Pressing the center button under the LED changes the light to green, and the sander is ready for use. The plus and minus buttons on either side of the power switch allow toggling between the three motor speeds. Unita offers a wide range of abrasives in two distinct forms: conventional pre-cut sandpaper, shown here on the left, and a range of foam-backed pads for sanding contours and irregular shapes. These pad saver accessories help minimize wear and tear on the sander's primary pad, the yellow one, and are available in a couple of firmness ratings for different applications. Here we're using the pad saver accessory along with a medium grit abrasive sheet. I think this was 120 grit, to remove some slight tool marks and shadow lines left in a one-piece MDF door milled on a CNC router. With just a few passes, the lines are gone, and after a high-build primer is applied, this piece will be indistinguishable from a solid wood or plywood panel, and probably smoother than either of those. Sure, this step can be done with just about any orbit or random orbital sander, but what about sanding profiles and other delicate shapes? Well, this is where the Ekasand with its foam-backed pads really stands out. Unless you have access to an industrial wide belt sander with an oscillating finishing head like this one, prep sanding profiles has always been pretty much a manual process. We've used everything over the years from manufactured detail sanding blocks like these to shop-built hardwood blocks machined to match unique shapes. Now and then we've all gotten away with sanding relatively simple shapes like the cove in this raised panel with no form or backing block at all. But what about more involved profiles where it's critical to preserve sharp details, like this Roman ogee panel or this incredibly complex design? With Unita's foam-backed pads, we've been getting some pretty impressive results with the Ekasand. Look at the way the pad conforms to this profile. Not just wide areas like the cove, but smaller details like the quarter round in this style, or the shoulder above the quarter round. Even in cross-grain situations like the ends of this panel, the surface is silky smooth, and every bit of the detail that was milled into the profile is still there. One drawback we noticed during testing is that when equipped with the standard pad and sandpaper, the Ekasand did often leave very small swirling scratches that were particularly noticeable on hardwoods that were later stained or clear coated. The frustrating thing about this is that these marks are almost undetectable until the stain or finish is applied. This is a characteristic long associated with Orbit pad sanders, but with the Ekasand's smooth, low vibration action, it seems reasonable to think that Unita's engineers could have come up with a way to lick this old dilemma. If you have found a way to overcome this, please let us know in the comments how you dealt with it. So, do you need a sander that for many of us would qualify as an investment-grade tool? Well, if you only occasionally have projects with complex profiles, maybe not. On the other hand, if you're a commercial shop or a do-it-yourselfer who is considering building or refinishing multiple cabinet doors or similar projects involving a lot of tedious detailed sanding, the E-Series sanders from Unita are definitely worth a look.